Now, four British men who were arrested in Cambodia over what police there called pornographic dance have now been released. But one, David Jones, remains under arrest and is now facing trial. They were amongst a group of 10 people arrested during a party at the villa in Siem Reap. Well, Tom Jeffries is one of those who was arrested but has now been released. He joins us now from Portsmouth. Tom, really appreciate you talking to us this morning. Welcome home. Just tell us what you were doing in Cambodia in the first place.
I mean, I've been living in Cambodia for, 3 years, just working at various different hostels and bars and sort of doing the same sort of thing that happened when we were getting arrested for the last 3 years.
What happened on the day of the arrest?
I mean, I'd arrived at the party about 45 minutes before the police did, when I decided not to go to the cinema instead. What I saw was just people drinking and dancing, and in fact, it was raining quite heavily about maybe 10 minutes before the police arrived, and we were all just cowering underneath sort of a balcony from the rain.
Police say they released images of the party of tourists. We've been told that those photos were taken 3 or 4 years ago, so that wasn't the group that you're with who were in these photos. But what do you think it is that got the authorities' backs up for them to make these arrests?
I'm not really sure. I think they're probably just trying to sort of change the tourism, I guess. I'm not too sure. I mean, the photo, as you say, that they've been circulating is from over 4 years ago, a bar that I've never even been to. I've never even seen it, and I wasn't even in the country. And I was one of the longest running people out of the 10 of us in the country.
What was going on at this party that you're at? I mean, you say it was just people drinking. Was anything else going on for this raid to take place?
There was literally just a swimming pool. There was a barbecue, and there were just people drinking beers. You know, there was nothing at all that I would have thought would have caused the police to come and raid.
You were in Cambodia for 2 years. Before you arrived in the country, how aware were you of the country's local culture and customs?
I mean, I knew very little about the culture before I got there, but whilst I was there, I spent a lot of times with Cambodian people, and it was never made apparent that anything like this would be offensive to anyone.
Yeah. Tell us a little bit more about what it was like when you were arrested, because you and along with the other 9 were detained in a rather notorious prison. You had to shave your head, for example. What was the experience like?
Yeah. I mean, it was horrendous. It was scary. I mean, to begin with, we didn't know how far it was going to go. The actual prison, we were in a cell about 5 meters by 4 meters with 25 other prisoners. You know, it was terrifying. It was terrifying.
The Foreign Office on their website say those who are arrested then convicted of a crime face rather lengthy sentences. You must count yourself very lucky. What was that like, knowing that you were imprisoned, accused of this crime, and you could have been facing a rather long prison sentence?
I think the worst thing was just trying to prepare yourself, because it could have been, as you say, it could have been up to a year, and it was horrendous. But we considered that the best thing to do was just prepare ourselves for the worst. I think the most important thing to remember, though, is that there is still someone out there. Dan, he's a very good friend of mine, and he is still, unfortunately, going through everything at this time.
Why is he still there and the rest of you were allowed to leave?
I think that's probably a question best for the lawyer. I haven't been in contact with anyone since I left the country.
On reflection, is there anything that you would have done differently?
No, I don't think so, because I honestly don't feel like we did anything wrong in the first place. You know, I might have gone to the cinema instead of to the party if I could have gone back and made that decision again. But no, as far as I was aware, I wasn't offending anyone. And as I said, I have many Cambodian friends out there, and none of them ever made it clear that what I was doing might have been offensive.
Yeah, because I mean, I only asked because the villa was near the Angkor Wat temple, a Buddhist temple considered sacred to many of the locals there. I guess the allegation that had been levelled at you was that you were disrespecting the local laws and customs.
I mean, I can see that it was relatively close to the temples, but it was exactly that. It was relatively close. I was probably closer to a street called Pub Street, which is dead centre in the centre of Siem Reap. So I, again, had no reason to think that drinking would be offensive.
Yeah. At what point were you told that you were going to be able to return home?
I was told literally just after I got out of the prison, maybe the next day.
And then where did you arrive home after that? When were you able to leave?
I got on a flight straight away the next day.
And what was it like coming back home?
It's weird being back in the UK. It's quite nerve-wracking. I don't know how this is going to affect me being able to get a job. It's obviously been 3 years. A surprising amount has changed here, and I mean I've changed a lot compared to the country I left as well.
Yeah. Would you go back to Cambodia again?
I would love to go back to Cambodia again. Like, I have absolutely no bad feelings about the country. I have so many people that I miss out there, and I would love to see them all again.
Now that you're back home, do you get the sense that the authorities in Cambodia use you as an example? They wanted to send a message to British backpackers, foreign backpackers who were travelling in the country, who were working in the country?
I'm not sure if we were used as an example as such. I think that they want to do something different with their country to what was happening at the time, and this is the way they did it.
OK, Tom Jeffries, thanks for your time.
Thank you very much. Cheers.